SteelSeries just refreshed one of my all-time favorite wireless gaming headsets in the Nova 7s. Now in the Nova 7 Gen 2s. Now at the core of the new Nova 7 Gen 2s here, not much has changed, just some nice refreshes. And as you're looking at my original Nova 7s here, these are the face clamps, one with some significant mods on them, with the wicked cushions and then the plates and whatnot. And all of those mods, whether it be wicked cushions, plates, headbands, they will all fit on the new Gen 2s as well. But my point here is if it's not broken, you don't really need to fix it or change it. There's just some nice updates here, which I'm about to share with you. Now, y'all know I can sit here and harp on the comfort and build quality of a gaming headset for quite a while, but I'm not going to here. I'm just going to let you know that it remains the same. Still incredibly durable and incredibly stinking cozy. One of the coziest on the market for sure. Clamping force isn't unbearable. Very comfortable with glasses. I don't game with a hat, but again, even when you put it on here, it's just floating on your head. So still stinking cozy, and the build quality I think is still pretty darn solid. So now let's go and take a closer look at the Gen 2 Nova 7s here. And you can see all the controls are the exact same as the previous one. You got your microphone mute, microphone active, volume wheel, your retractable microphone here, which you still have that mute light on there. We're going to do that microphone test to see if the microphone is improved, kind of like I believe it was a Nova 5s that had an improved microphone. We'll test that. You got your 3.5, you got your USB port, which this is a big improvement on this, as the battery life is now increased to 50 hours, and you do still have that fast charge, which is like, I think 15 minutes for 6 hours. So nice touch right there. But coming over to these controls, again, you have Bluetooth and your 2.4, and you can run one or the other. Just Bluetooth if you're out and about, or just 2.4, or you can run both of them and get simultaneous. So whenever you're gaming, you can still play your music in the background or video. Down here, you got your game to chat, and this is on the 7X here. When I test this, it does not work on PlayStation, only on Xbox. But me personally, I wish, since you got your core game volume over here, I wish this was a Bluetooth dial. That's just me personally, because I don't really mess with game to chat. If I need to, it's really in-game settings. I wish this was a core game volume and this was Bluetooth volume. That would have been a nice touch. Now, taking a look at the dongle here. Again, we are looking at the 7X, and you can see this is a pretty big dongle, and why that is because you can switch them. With the Nova 7s, I've always recommended everyone going with the X version because it works across every platform. Of course, some features and functions won't work across every platform, but still at the core, you're going to be able to use the 7X on every platform simply by switching the back of your dongle from Xbox to USB to work on PlayStation, Switch, PC, and of course your Xbox. Now, even though this jumbo dongle is very versatile, again, be able to use it across all platforms, but again, it's big. And if you're like me and you're gaming on a PlayStation Pro where both your front ports are USB-C, whenever you take that dongle and plug it in there, you're gonna block your other port. And for me, where I'm testing other products in the background, I need to be able to access both of them. And of course, now that I have that, even though I'm using an adapter here, you can see these little deals. Even if I was to use another adapter and extend it out, it still wouldn't be able to fit because again, it's just wide. It's not more long. Now, SteelSeries does include a USB A to C cable here, which is what I ended up doing, just routing it to the back, plugging this in, and then just again putting it out here. But this is just tacky and an ugly, again, layout on my setup here. I just wish, again, the dongle was maybe long this way. Even if it was USB-C, let's plug it in like that and then get our switch still on there. That's just a little nitpicky thing I would have liked.
Now let's go and get the microphone test. And I'm going to plug the dongle right into my phone to make this easier so I can just shorten this up a bit for you. So again, you're hearing it plugged in via USB-C, not Bluetooth, even though we're connected to my phone, just to be clear about that. But I want to show you the app controls, which is a new thing on the Nova 7s here. So a cool little feature here that I want to show you. And by the way, we're connected USB-C, and this is the same. Say if the dongle is connected to your Xbox or PlayStation, PC, whatever device you have, you can control the app and your sound settings live right in time right there. So again, even if the dongle is plugged into my PlayStation or Xbox, I can still control the app since, again, the headset is simultaneous with the Bluetooth. You can still activate it right there. Your Bluetooth just has to be on, but you're still going to be able to adjust to 2.4 in Bluetooth. Hopefully that makes sense. But looking over the app, I think we're all getting pretty familiar with this, as SteelSeries has implemented this in a lot of their headsets, which I think should be standard across all gaming headsets. App control is the way to go, so you don't have to load up your PC and save a setting and then have it, right? You want to be able to control it with your fingertips. And as you're seeing right here, you got basic status as far as Bluetooth 2.4 on, battery life, you have your audio, microphone, and right over here you got 2.4 in Bluetooth, because you can have settings for both of those different controls on your headset. So number one over here, as far as EQ presets, you see you have all of those sonars, 290, and then some customs. This is pretty much what I used up here. I tested out with flat. I've really been playing a lot of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and then I enjoyed the Warhammer 4000 EQ when I was playing Destiny and stuff like that, just because it had a lot of nice body in the background. But I tended to keep it on the Last of Us Remastered the majority of the time. But again, you got tons to choose from, and not to sound like a broken record, but you can test these out in game while your phone's connected to Bluetooth to the headset, your dongle's into your console. You can just go through and click and try out different ones as you please to find that perfect one for you. And the cool thing, you see up here at the top, I have my favorites picked out. So say you're playing Alan Wake 2 and that's one you want set, but you want to, dabble back and forth between different games. You take it and just pan to the right, and now it is saved up here into your favorites. So pretty cool like that. Now, as far as customs, you do got to get into Sonar, my bad, to be able to adjust a EQ, and then it saves onto here. But I found myself just using the preset Sonar ones perfectly fine. Now, backing out of this, going down here, volume limiter, you want to make sure you turn this off, because that's really going to boost volume up. If you have this on, it's going to tone your volume down significantly. And I'll tell you what, even using this on PlayStation, we know some gaming headsets have struggled on PlayStation with that volume level being pretty low. You're going to be turning this headset down because it is loud. It is very loud. Anyways, moving on here. Microphone settings. Right now you're hearing the microphone in balanced, and you can see we're maybe a little bit higher than halfway as far as that volume level there. Now coming over here, we have balanced is what we're set at. Again, we'll go to broadcast high pitched. I don't know if we're updating. It's trying to communicate right now. We're doing this. Okay, now it's updated broadcast high pitched to see what that sounds like. Now we have, what other ones we want to see? Clarity low pitched. Let's see what that sounds like. I'm not sure if we're getting any interruptions while it's trying to load here. Now we are on clarity low pitched. But you see, you got a lot of different things. Maybe less nasally. That might be good, because the SteelSeries headsets have been nasally before. My P's and T's are quite prominent. Now we're on less nasally to see what that sounds like. This is less nasally on the microphone. I keep it on balanced because balanced is always good, right? It's just, like it says, balanced. Okay, backtracking out. I just wanted to show you have some of those presets there. Now you have side tone over here. Let's go right over here. Now the weird thing is, so it's on off, right? And this is also in sync with the volume of your headset. So if you got your gain blasting and it's at 100%, of course it's going to be louder. But the weird thing is, even if I'm in halfway on side tone, it's still off, right? I have to get all the way over here above the low notch, or right on it, for the side tone to activate. Again, if I just come right back here, just below low, it's off. Side tone is off. So that's a bit of a stinker, because when you come up here, and again, it's controlled also by your volume. So if your volume's a little lower, that side tone is going to be a little lower. I have my volume cranked up right now, so it's incredibly loud. But if I go to like midway, a little bit better. Now if I come up to medium up here, a little bit louder. So if you're keeping the volume of your game lower, you're going to want to crank this up. And then if you come up to high right up here, oh my gosh, it's unbearable. That is way too loud for me, even at the low setting. Medium, I guess if you're playing at a lower volume, that might be good. Low is kind of that comfortable zone where you just kind of hear yourself back there a little bit, especially if you're someone like me that plays your games at very high volume. And then down below here, you have your microphone LED. I'm going to turn this off right now, though, so I can hear myself talking here, because again, it is a louder side tone. Okay, I'm up here at 5 minutes already on this microphone test here. Let's go back to audio, and I want to show you one other thing. You have Bluetooth, and this is where you can control that EQ for your Bluetooth. So say if you're listening to music right over there, you can adjust that to have your phone call or music EQ set there, and then your gaming EQ set over here. Now, tapping on the little gear icon up here, you have some of your settings as far as firmware. In Bluetooth, by default, this is something I prefer to keep on. So you got it enabled, or you can disable it. So right when you press the power button on your headset, the Bluetooth will automatically sync up. And I recommend keeping this on because it will automatically pair right up to the app, and you can control everything right there. You never have to worry about, oh, why did I pair to the app this time? Yada, 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 you know? So I prefer it enabled. Plus, I like it in my calls. The Bluetooth call, what you wanted to do, I lower the volume so I can focus on my call. And then right down here, you got your power options. So really nice. Again, I swear by the app. I wish all gaming headsets would revert to this, and it's just simple to use. But this is the microphone you've been listening to on the new 7X Gen 2s.
So I want to apologize for that incredibly long microphone test, but again, I really wanted to shine light on the app control right there, as this is a massive selling point. It should definitely not be looked over. It is a massive selling point, and it really brings this headset to life. As far as the microphone, being able to tweak it, your buddies say, oh, you sound like this, that, or the other, bam, right on your phone, you press it and you can adjust it. As far as your sound, you're hopping game to game, console to console, bam, you can adjust it right on the fly. So I think, again, the app control is super cool. And again, as you saw me using it on my phone, really cool to use it across every other platform. Now, as far as my environment, you all know I don't have a fancy studio, right? I have a fan running right over here. My ceiling fan's running. I got a fan in that light over there, and my PC is chugging. It is just a core game room, no fancy sound dampening to, again, give the microphone extra life. And talking about the microphone here, I will tell you, SteelSeries has improved their microphones, but again, I think it's a lot of tuning. They still do sound a little bit airy, so just get in there and again, tune it for your environment and your voice. One thing I will say I would like to see SteelSeries do, and maybe have the option within the app, is give us voice tones as far as like mic on, mic off, or Bluetooth, or this, that, or the other, you know, just voice prompts rather than beeps. That's something I really appreciate. I think Razer does that now, where everything's a voice prompt rather than a beep. That is something I would really appreciate. The other thing, and I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong here, but as I showed you in the app, you can have the Bluetooth power on right when you power on the headset. So if you hold the power button here, you see the Bluetooth light powers on as well. If we get some focus, you have both lights flickering right there, right? Just blinking over there. Now, the crazy thing is if I hold the power button to turn the headset off, bam, right there. Now the 2.4 is off, but if you look at right here, get some focus again, you can see that Bluetooth light is still blinking. So it powers the Bluetooth on when you power it on, but it doesn't power it off. And I can't tell you how many times I forgot to power off the Bluetooth, and I'm not concerned about the battery life because Bluetooth never really eats up battery life, especially if you're not using it. But I'd get a call and I'm like, why can't I hear anybody? Well, lo and behold, my phone was still paired up to the gaming headset, and my game room went up over in a whole nother room. So hopefully in a firmware update, SteelSeries, please make it that whenever you power off the headset, that Bluetooth powers off as well, or maybe I'm just doing something wrong here. Now let's go and talk about the sound quality of the new Nova 7 Gen 2s. And luckily, you're still getting that great Nova sound quality and signature that we all have come used to with the new Nova line from SteelSeries. And I stated this in many of my SteelSeries headset videos. If you're still on the old line of SteelSeries Arctis headsets, they were known to be a little bit more high-pitched, a little bit more treble-focused. Kind of why I really liked those back in the days, because I mainly played FPS games. But now with the Nova line, you have a little bit more bass, a little bit more body, a little bit more of that immersion. You know what I mean? Actually, a lot more compared to the previous version. But it's not muddy or anything like that, so I don't think I'm saying that here. But it's just a more versatile headset. You have that more natural type of sound signature, that more flat sound signature, which is great for, again, being able to adjust your EQ with those sonars, because whatever you adjust, again, you really get to hear differences, whether it be more highs or more bass. Now, with the Nova 7s, and this is kind of really shine, because I just got done covering the Nova Elites over here, right? Not just a price point, right? Big price point, but as far as like those carbon fiber drivers to these drivers here, The Nova Elites, for example, I know this is a bad comparison, right? Because you're talking two drastically different price categories of headsets here. But coming from the Nova Elites, they're more similar to the previous Arctis line of headsets. A whole lot more clear, and the separation is clear as day there. Like it's night and day. But again, the Nova Elite, you got a little bit more of that crack in the background. Like that reload, you got that click, click, and then click, click back into it. You know what I mean? When on the standard Novas, whether it be the 5s, the 3s, the 7s, or something like that, right? You get that click, but it's more like a clock, clock than a click, 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 if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Again, a sound nerd here, right? But you get a little bit more of that detail and separation with something like the Elites or graphene drivers, or, you know, even planar magnetics, right? But over here with the Nova 7s, you still get the separation, but I caught myself like playing Battlefield, or I play a lot of Borderlands now. So both of those games are just chaotic and hectic and so much stuff going on, you know what I mean? So sometimes, like if a jet was coming over me, that kind of took priority, or a tank blasting at me, right? And a building crumbling, that took priority. Same in Borderlands, right? I'm playing that on PlayStation, by the way. Sometimes if it was a really crazy, hectic scene, that's a lot of what I got. It never really became muddy or rumbly or staticky or anything like that, but that was priority of what I would hear during that split second. So that's again going to be a different from like a standard gaming headset, if we say that, or to something more like the Elites or something with planar magnetics or something. But the core sound of this, I absolutely loved it. Playing Last of Us, playing Borderlands, playing Battlefield, I never ever caught myself saying, oh, let me go get the Elites. I like the Elites better. I want to use those, or any other headset. I was perfectly fine with them. Again, one of the most cozy headsets out there, but I never caught myself in the sound department being like, man, this just isn't giving me what I'm used to. It's different from, again, the Elites, totally different. And that's what I would tell you. Like, if you're hardcore, straight up FPS, Elites, there's no question. I'm not making this comparison because, again, the price is different. But if you're like me and you play a wide array of games, you like listening to music and videos and stuff, and again, you enjoy a good story game and you want that immersion, that's where the 7s really shine. And again, I really enjoyed my time using them because it gave me what I wanted in that manageable sound across every game and platform. Now, the Nova 7 Gen 2s are going to come in at $200. And throughout this video, you probably heard me praise it up and down because, like I stated previously, it's always been one of my favorite headsets. It does everything I want, and they implemented more into it here. It just does everything from the comfort, the build, the style, the features and functions being improved right there, longer battery life, and again, focusing on the X version here, it works across every single platform. It's a complete win for me. And at $200, again, I think it might be the best value in wireless gaming headsets out there. It's just that headset that does it all. But the question you might be asking is, should you upgrade if you already have the previous Nova 7s or 7Xs, whatever? I think that might be a hard recommend right there because the biggest thing you're getting, again, battery difference and then the app control. You really got to decide, do you really want to utilize the app control? Me personally, hands down, like that's an instant upgrade for me. As simple and basic as it sounds, it's massive because I play so many different games across multiple different platforms. I love being able to control and tweak my stuff on the fly right there. So that is a massive improvement. But the biggest thing is, like, should you buy this if you're looking to upgrade your headset from something else? Even though you can get the Nova 7s for around 150, 160 bucks right now, I say dish out the extra coin and go with the Gen 2s. I think the upgrades are totally worth it.